Welcome to series of database management system video lectures. Today we'll be discussing about Unit 2, Topic 6, that is functional dependencies. What do we mean by a functional dependence? Before we get into the actual definition, let us go to understanding of functional dependence. Functional dependency can be represented in short as FD. What do we mean by a functional dependence? Now, let us take an example of X and Y. X is an entity with set of attributes. So X has the attributes of A, B, C, and Y has the attributes of D, E, F. Right? So now, if we can write like this, X arrow Y, which means that X determines the value of Y, or X is Y is functionally dependent on X. To get the value of Y, to get the value of Y, we can use X. So this is the meaning of functional dependence. The set of attributes of Y can be defined by making use of the set of attributes of X. So now, let us look at the actual definition of functional dependency. Given a relation R, so R is a table here. Let X and Y be a set of attributes within R. X functionally determines Y, denoted as X arrow Y. If for every valid instance of X in R, there is precisely one instance of Y in R. In other words, the values of Y are uniquely determined by the values of X. Same thing that we have explained along with the example. Now, what are the importance of functional dependencies? What are the roles of functional dependency? Functional dependency plays a major role for database normalization. So, which aims to organize the attributes of a relation to minimize redundancy and dependence. So now, before this, attribute Y depends upon attribute of X. So to get the value of Y, I can make use of value of X. So in that case, all the set of data elements which are there in same table or in different tables have a dependency relationship, right? So this leads to inconsistency of data. I want all the data elements to be standalone in nature, right? So which may violate the concept of data integrity and then consistency. So now functional dependencies have to be completely removed off in order to eliminate the anomalies. Functional dependencies also plays a vital role in database design, which optimizes and especially the process of normalization, where the database schema is organized to reduce redundancy and aggregate data into. Now, these are the three important rules or the properties associated with functional dependencies. The first one is reflexivity. Now, look at the rule. If Y is a subset of X, then X determines Y. Reflexivity tells us that if Y is a subset of X, then X will determine the value of Y. That is the first one, reflexivity. The second one is augmentation. If X determines Y, then adding an attribute either to X or Y does not change the dependence. So now look at the example here. We are trying to derive employee ID. Employee ID is functionally dependent on employee name. So you are trying to retrieve employee name with the help of employee ID. Then adding another attribute to this, then there will not be any change, right? So even in this manner, combination of more than one attribute will also be used in order to derive the other attribute value. So this is augmentation. And the third rule is that transitivity. If X determines Y and Y determines Z, which implies that X directly determines Z value, right? So these are the three important rules and properties of the functional dependency. Now let us take an example to understand better about functional dependency here. So the first look at the table, student table, which contains four different columns with five records. So first one is student ID, course code, semester, and then grade. Now we can write what is the first one? Reflexivity. What is reflexivity property tells us that student ID, student ID can be used to determine or get the value of grade. So now look at the ID values 101, 2, 1, 3, 2. Now for every roll number, there must and should be only one grade that should be assessed. Right? So with this example, you have redundancy of student ID number with the two different grades which are allotted. So this will violate the rule. The next rule is augmentation. Now, the second rule is student ID and the combination of course code can also be used to derive the grade value. Now, 101 student ID for the course code computers 101 in the fall of semester have grade A. And for the semester of spring, you have a different grade. So to retrieve the record uniquely, only the student ID number may not be useful to retrieve the record separately. So I need to go with the combination of that. So student ID and then the course code. Even the course code will also be same. So then semester can be taken here. Combination of these three will lead to the grade. Now, reflexivity is satisfied. The third case here is transitivity. Third case is transitivity. Now look at here. If student ID is used to determine the grade, determine the course semester, then course semester is used to determine the grade. Then directly student ID will be able to use to derive grade, right? So this is transitivity. So all the properties are satisfied here. So we can conclude that this is a functional dependence. Thank you.